World Super Bantamweight Championship fight. Anissa Meksen going up against our next guest, who is joining us in studio at this time. One of the very best female fighters in the world, regardless of combat sport. The one and only Tiffany van Soest is here. How about this? This is amazing. Time Bomb is in the house. How are you, Tiffany?
Good, thanks. How are you?
It is a pleasure to have you in studio. Thank you so much. So Glory 48 Super Fight Series at the world's most famous arena. 5 days away. 4 days away. 4 days away. Yeah. What's it like?
It's
New
awesome.
York City.
It's awesome.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you ever fought in New York City before?
No, I actually haven't even been here since I was a kid. So
Really?
yeah, it's great.
When did you get here?
5 this morning.
You just got here?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. How do you feel, like, with the jet lag and everything, red-eye flight?
I got some sleep before the drive over here, so I'm feeling pretty all right.
By the way, I don't know if you heard Matt Mitrione just moments ago. He said that fighters who are caught using PEDs, you've been around combat sports for a long time, should be charged with attempted murder.
Attempted murder?
Yes. How do you feel about that? Do you feel that strongly about fighters who are caught using PEDs, or do you think that that's a little bit extreme? Definitely,
especially in MMA, with the gloves being so small and the head trauma being more intense.
Yeah.
You are a lot more likely to get more injured.
Right.
But I don't know about death. I don't know about attempted murder.
Okay.
I know fighters do go in there with that mentality to kill.
Right.
So.
Have you ever been in a fight where you're like, yeah, I feel like my opponent is cheating? I feel like she's on something. Can you tell?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit her with everything but the kitchen sink, and she seemed okay.
And what does that do for you mentally? Does that piss you off? Does that get you frustrated? Does that make you want to, beat her up even more? Do you even think about it, or do you think about it after the fact?
I think about it after the fact.
Okay.
Like, if I go back and watch the fight, I'm like, how did she not fall down after that, or even seem fazed by it at all? But yeah, in the moment, I don't really think too much about it other than doing my job.
4 days away from your title defense for Glory, how would you compare your confidence level before, say, an MMA fight? So you're now 1-1 in MMA.
Yeah.
You got that elusive first win just a few months back in Invicta, and we'll get to that in a second. But would you say that you're infinitely more confident about just your, because this is your bread and butter, right? I know Muay Thai, kickboxing, as opposed to MMA with the ground game, it's a little different. It's a different world, and I know you were somewhat pressured into going to MMA, and we'll get to that as well. But to prepare for a kickboxing match, which is what you're essentially known for, that's your bread and butter, as I said. Would you say that your confidence on fight week feels a lot different? Like you're that much more confident. You feel different about yourself. You have a swagger to you, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like
you're
said,
not questioning yourself.
It's my bread and butter.
Right.
I've been doing this for so long. Been striking on my feet, doing karate since I was 8 years old. So, getting ready for a kickboxing match. It's with MMA, there's a lot more unknowns as well. With the ground aspect, the wrestling, the clinch is even different. The cage works as a factor as well. So there's just a lot more unknowns, and kind of. I'm not as familiar with those unknowns.
Right.
Like the unknowns that exist within striking, I feel like I've experienced most of them that can be experienced. So I'm definitely more comfortable and more confident going into kickboxing fights.
Do you regret even going into MMA at this point?
No, never.
Okay.
No.
Because I read in an interview that you said that, here you are, best in your field, and everyone's asking you, when are you going to jump over? When are you going to jump over? Why can't you just appreciate what I'm doing now? And that maybe you got on the MMA train a little too soon, that you didn't give yourself enough time. I read that you said that. Is that not accurate?
It is. I don't regret doing MMA at all. I'm glad that I finally made the jump to get people off my back, in a sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think putting myself in the cage and in front of MMA fans and still being able to kickbox brings over that new demographic of fan, the MMA fan, to kickboxing. Because with kickboxing, especially in Glory, there's so many knockouts. And that's what MMA fans like to see, is the knockouts. And oftentimes when it goes to the ground, the average fan that doesn't understand it, they boo and they're bored. But there's so much that goes into it, but it's not as aesthetically exciting as a knockout. And so with kickboxing, you get that. So hopefully with me doing both, I build my fan base with the MMA fans, and then with continuing to kickbox, they follow me over to see what I can do in the ring as well.
Have you noticed that you've become more popular, that you've brought some fans over from MMA to check you out in kickboxing after the 2 fights in Invicta?
I like to think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've noticed a difference in the way people talk about you or the attention that you receive.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
In hindsight, though, how much time would you have preferred to prepare for the MMA debut?
For the debut?
Yeah.
Probably 2 more months.
2 more months, okay.
Yeah, about 2 more months of solid work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how do you break it down now when so you had a fight back in, I think it was
May.
That was your debut, right?
Debut was a September, and then the second one was May.
May, right. Okay, so now you have this fight 7 months later or so, 7 months. How do you break up your time? Like, do you just, okay, now I have kickboxing, I'm not going to do wrestling, jiu-jitsu, any of that? Are you going to just take a break from all that? Like, how do you balance the MMA career and the kickboxing career? Because, yes, there are elements of kickboxing and MMA, but there aren't any elements of MMA and kickboxing, so there's no point in doing the ground stuff while you're preparing for a title fight in kickboxing.
Yeah, I still do jiu-jitsu and wrestling throughout the week, at least a couple times.
Okay. Even while you're preparing for this camp?
All the way up until about 4 weeks out.
Okay.
And then, obviously, because the more injuries are likely to occur, especially with the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu, my body's not as used to it as it is to the striking.
Right.
So I find that I get little bumps and bruises through that more often than through just striking.
Yeah.
So I just make sure that I'm smart about it. Every once in a while, I'll jump into a no-gi class for some cross-training or for a sweat, just to give my mind a break.
Okay.
And to kind of not completely abandon everything I'm learning and working on, so that way there's still a sense of progression, or I'm still involved in some way. But for a fight of this caliber, I haven't done any groundwork in at least 4 weeks.
What was it like after the first fight? After, there was a lot of attention going into it, a lot of buzz about your debut, and it didn't go your way. How did you handle it after being so successful in kickboxing for so long?
I was pretty bummed, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a competitor. I hate losing. I hate losing more than I love winning. I've always said that. People could have made all the excuses. Oh, she was a wrestler. You did so well. You held your own. I'm like, but I didn't win. So it just, by exposing myself to probably one of the more tougher opponents that I could have for my debut, I just threw myself right in the fire. I was like, all right, let's test myself and see where I'm at. See how much my wrestling needs to improve in my ground game. And I did show a lot of good moments in that fight, but I learned so much from it. So although losing was terrible and it sucked really, really badly.
How did you handle it? Like, are you the kind of person who takes a break from the gym, you sulk, you need a mental vacation, or?
Yeah, I pout.
Okay, you pout.
I pout for a little while.
That was a nice way of saying pouting.
Yeah.
You just stay at home and eat ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream, cookies, burritos.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just you go ham.
For about a week. Yeah.
Okay, really? Wow.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Okay.
But it's delicious.
Delicious and disgusting at the same time. Did you watch it? Watch the fight? You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched it over and over and over again. I watched myself turn purple.
Wow.
I'll watch it to where, like, it's really hard for me to watch it at first, and then so I'll watch a little bit of it, and then I'm like, I can't.
Okay.
And then I'll watch a little bit more, and then finally I just watch the whole thing, and I'm like, I'm sad, and then I'll watch it again. I'm like, oh, I should have did this. And I'm mad. I'll watch it again. I turned purple there.
Wow.
I almost went to sleep there. Then I'm able to kind of like laugh about it, but it's a process, like any emotional process. It's a roller coaster.
And then the sort of decision to agree to take the second fight and to get back on the horse, how difficult was that? Were you afraid? Were you afraid of being embarrassed again or losing again, feeling that feeling again? How did you get over that hump?
Yeah, there's always that fear. Going in there, there's one winner and there's one loser, so, but I would be more ashamed and more disappointed if I didn't get back in. So It's almost like I wanted to get back in as quickly as I could, given some time to get some more work in, make those improvements, but just to get in there, because I feel like the longer that I would have stayed out, the harder it would have been, the more like of a mental struggle it would have been, or to kind of get back in there. So I just wanted to get back in there as quickly as I could after that and redeem myself.
Getting the hand raised.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was like, finally.
A weight lifted off your shoulders?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Proved to a lot of other people and to myself that, yeah, I can do this.
You still want to do it?
Yeah.
Well, then, so after, not to look ahead, but like, are you going to go 1-1-1-1? How are you going to balance the two careers?
We'll see.
You don't know. So
No.
you don't know what the next one is yet?
No.
Like after Friday?
No.
Okay.
I'm not looking past Friday.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Some smart people have told me this, Anissa Meksen could be one of your toughest, if not your toughest, kickboxing opponent to date. Do you agree with that assessment? Like 93 or so pro fights she's had coming out of France. She's been doing great things there. Would you agree with that?
On paper, yeah, it looks like it, but from what I see, no.
You're not impressed?
I'm impressed, but I'm not feeling too threatened. I mean, I'm on guard, I'm alert, I'm sharp, I'm focused, I'm ready as ever, but I don't see where she could, like really, really hurt me. I mean, she's fast, she's really good at scoring points, but I like to hit hard. So it's hard to score points on somebody after you've been hit really hard a few times.
It seemed like it took Glory a while to get on the female fighting bandwagon, but now it seems like they're really pushing you. Do you feel that? Do you feel like they're getting behind you? And they're putting you on this, like the headliner for the Super Fight Series, this big week for the UFC. They're focusing on a lot of female fighting, anniversary of Ronda Rousey, all that stuff. Do you feel like they're getting behind you? Do you feel the love?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the love.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Starting to?
Starting to.
It took a little while?
Took a little while, but better late than never.
What was missing early on? What were you not feeling?
I don't know. I mean, just I felt like every time I showed up to fight, I put on a great performance, a great show, showed that women do belong in there, and it just took that one chance, that one moment. Okay, here's your time, prove it. It's like now or never, and I delivered.
Right.
So, I just.
And you didn't feel like they were getting excited about it or giving you the props that you deserved?
I think when the title belt came into picture, because it started as a tournament, and because they needed to crown a champion for the division.
Yeah.
Of course, with anything that revolves around a belt, something big, shiny, a title, it's going to generate a lot more hype.
Sure.
So I think maybe that's what it took, just people to get or just more attention.
Do you feel like there's a deep enough talent roster in Glory to keep you motivated?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, they search the globe and they really do find the best female kickboxers in the world for this division. They have found the best for this division. So, I've fought girls from all over the world, and I rarely fight another American. So they really are scouring the globe and finding the best girls they can.
Of the three major combat sports, MMA, kickboxing, boxing, we'll put those, as the three major. Do you disagree? Those are the three major, right?
I would say so, yeah.
Why is women's MMA the most popular by far of the three, in your opinion?
I think with the UFC being the powerhouse that it is, being mainstream now, having the platform that it has, it puts those women on that platform, gives them the exposure. And the girls, they all come to fight. I mean, we are just naturally more emotional creatures, so the battles get a little more heated, and there's that little bit of extra fire or feistiness in them. But on top of that, I think there's just something about seeing women do something so brutally beautiful that has a nice aesthetic to it. But I'm trying to do the same with kickboxing.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's coming around? Do you feel like women's boxing, the story has been told like a million times over the past 20 years. There's a couple names that emerge, Mia St. John, Layla Ali, but then it just kind of falls by the wayside. What needs to happen for women's kickboxing to be considered like now UFC puts on a main event, Holly Holm, Chris Cyborg. No one says like, oh, I'm not getting my money's worth. No one feels like it's a lesser main event. Right. What needs to happen for you to headline the entire Glory event, not just the prelim, so to speak, or the Super Fight Series as they call it?
I don't know. I'm hoping to do something on Friday night that that'll prove that, hey, I do deserve that spot. The ladies do deserve that spot. Okay.
I'm fascinated by your career, and of course have great respect for your career. But you put out this video recently, you performing spoken word about your trials and tribulation with anxiety,
social anxiety.
Yeah. And I have to say, so it's hard for me to relate to fighters. It's easy for me to relate to someone talking about that because I've dealt with that, and I think a lot of us deal with that.
Yeah.
What prompted you? And for anyone who hasn't seen it, I was going to play it here, but I feel like that's not fair to you. And
I might turn bright red.
Yeah, and you need to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I have many questions about it. So if anyone wants to see it, go on Tiffany's Twitter and check it out because
I got a YouTube channel too.
Yes.
The full thing is on YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah.
But you link to it on your Twitter, right?
It's on my Instagram. The link's in my bio to the YouTube.
Okay, perfect. What prompted you to do that?
So I was in Austin at the On It Influencer Summit.
Okay.
And a spoken word poet in Q was one of the keynote speakers. He ran us through a workshop. He performed. I've always liked to write. I've always enjoyed watching spoken word poetry. But after watching him and interacting with him, I was inspired to kind of try it. But I didn't plan when or how. After one of the events, like the social events following the summit, I found myself just kind of sitting off to the side or feeling really awkward trying to start conversations with these people that I've never met before. I mean, I'm amongst my peers, in a sense, you know, getting 40 influential people together, kind of like a think tank. It was great. So where I should have felt really, really comfortable, I just felt myself crawling in my own skin. And as soon as the event was over, I went back to my hotel room just so frustrated at myself for feeling that way. And with the spoken word and everything being so fresh in my mind, you know, I was so inspired and by InQ, I was like, I'm just gonna write about this, write how I'm feeling right now. So I wrote it like fresh. The emotion was still like living within me. I got back to my hotel room and I wrote that. And then shortly after that, I got back home and I've never even tried spoken word. I'm like, I've watched it enough times. So I watched some more videos online. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna record myself doing it and just see how it goes. And I'm like still reading it from my notebook. I hadn't memorized it yet. And I sent the video to my manager and I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was just like, what is this? And I was like, what, is it bad? He goes, no, this is great, you know? And I was like, I've never done this before. I told him the story, you know, how it came about. And he was like, would you be comfortable like sharing this with the world? And I'm like, you know, I felt like I've been put in this position and given my gift of martial arts to give something to the world. If it's not martial arts, at least I'm on a platform to where people are paying attention to me. And so I was like, hey, look, I'm a world champion and I'm viewed as this superhero to a lot of people, but that's when the cameras are off, when I'm not in the ring, like every day, normal social events, like even just regular social interactions. If I'm kind of off at the grocery store and someone comes up to me, I'm kind of like shell up really quick. So I just thought it was so important to put it out there that, hey, world champions, celebrities, athletes, anybody, you know, we're all one. We're all the same. We all suffer from the same things. So why not put it out there? Why not use my platform to deliver a message and let everyone know, hey, it's okay. You can deal and you can still do great things.
This clip is almost 3 minutes long. Did you memorize it?
I did.
Wow.
Please don't make me recite it.
No, I'm not. I promise you I won't. How many takes?
For the original, 2, and then the one that's posted,
Okay.
Maybe 3.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Where'd you film it?
I filmed it in an empty apartment in London.
Okay. London, England.
London, England.
Okay.
I was there for my manager's wedding.
Okay.
And I went to one of the pre-wedding parties, but it was for his wife's side.
Okay.
And I'm friends with her, but I didn't know anybody in her family. And they were lovely and made me feel so welcome and comfortable. But my anxiety, again, not knowing anybody, I'm in a different country.
Yeah.
You know, I just felt that same frustration and that same feeling I felt in Austin that night when I wrote it.
Okay.
And so I got back, it was like 2 a.m. and just using that emotion as fuel for the performance. So I just set up my iPhone on some empty boxes.
Wow.
I was all alone.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, I'm doing this. This is raw, this is real. I want that to be conveyed through this. So I know it doesn't look like it's like super well done because it wasn't. It was just my phone and myself, you know, and my feelings. And so you guys got it raw and real as can be. Was it difficult to share it, to post it? There was in the moments leading up to posting it, I was like, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? And like, but I know what the bigger picture is. Mm-hmm. You know, I know what the cause is, what it's about. And it's bigger than my fear, my anxiety, or my ego, or what people may think. So when it was finally released, I was so excited. Like I was nervous, excited, but then when it was finally out, I started getting some feedback and seeing, oh man, it was so great. Really? It was like, what's the feedback you're getting? It's been great. So many people have contacted me and have been like, thank you so much. I struggle from the same thing. I didn't know, like, you look like you have it all together, and you've given me hope, you've inspired me, like just everything I wanted from the video. I've gotten so far, and I'm so happy about it, and the response has been so great, and I eventually want to work up to actually maybe trying to perform live myself.
Okay. This same piece?
The same piece, other pieces. I've written a couple more.
Wow.
Maybe work my way up from some local open mic nights where nobody knows me. I'll wear hat and glasses
Sure.
just to get used to it, you know? And then, and then maybe be able to do it for real.
Do you feel like it has given you more confidence in day-to-day life, just putting it out there and getting it off your chest and people kind of know? Or is that like you're back at that party in London, you'll still feel the same way? It's hard to kind of change.
I do feel a lot better about putting it out there and kind of like, you know, I looked the monster in the face, you know, and was like, and then let everyone else see it too, you know. But I definitely still feel that social anxiety, and I know there are ways to cope with it and ways to deal with it. Just like anything else, it's going to take practice. But yeah, I don't know.
How long have you been dealing with that?
You know, since mental health has become more of a prevalent issue and is becoming more talked about, I was able to put a name to it and figure out what it was, but it's something I've been feeling since I was little.
Really?
The only place I've ever felt like really comfortable is, you know, doing karate, playing soccer, being active, you know? But when I'm put in a situation where it's like, okay, here's all these people, everyone talk, and, you know, then it's like, it just kind of, I don't know, I get that feeling.
So when you walk out to fight, you never feel that?
No, I feel so at peace.
No anxiety, no nothing?
No, I just feel focused and ready and just ready to go out there and fight. But I don't feel, the anxiety that I feel is like a nervousness, like, okay, let's go.
The anticipation.
But it's not anywhere near the same anxiety that I feel when I'm like out at a social event where I don't know anybody, and I'm either, I have two options, like, okay, come out of my shell and talk to people, and still it's like, I don't know what I'm gonna say, like, where do my hands go? Do I look weird? It's either that, or I sit off in a corner by myself and don't say anything, and I just kind of watch. But then it's like, I'm sitting by myself. Does everyone know I'm sitting by myself? Do I look weird because I'm by myself? So it's just like this constant, this battle in my head where I want to engage because I love talking to people and meeting new people. And once the ice is broken, for the most part, I feel okay, but there's some moments where I'm like, God, you're so awkward. But yeah, it's just, I don't know.
I hate when interviewers interject, but like you're giving me so many memories of being in college. I used to wait till I would listen in my dorm and wait till I didn't hear anyone, wait till like 3 a.m. just to go brush my teeth because I was that nervous about being around other people. I would never go to the cafeteria to eat. I would get food and then run upstairs and eat in my room by myself because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I didn't know if they were looking at me, if they were judging me.
But you feel comfortable in front of these cameras doing this, right?
Yes. It's a bizarre thing.
It's so backwards. People are like, you don't seem shy at all. You're very outgoing. I'm like, yeah, I am when I'm at work.
Right.
You know, when I know I'm doing this is planned, I can kind of like mentally prepare for it. But like I said the other day, I was at the grocery store after training, just super tired, putting together a salad, and someone comes up to me, hey, Tiffany, how's it going? And I'm like, I don't, I kind of froze. And then I was like, oh, I probably came off like a jerk.
It's a tough thing.
Yeah.
It's crippling at times.
Very.
And so I give you a lot of credit. When I saw that, I was like, first of all, you performed it wonderfully.
Thank you.
And it's very well written. But when I saw it, it was great to see someone who, I mean, like what all of you do, MMA fighters, boxers, I mean, I can't even imagine, like I don't possess, regular people, we don't possess the gene that you guys possess that allows you to go into a ring or a cage.
It's a little bit of crazy.
Yeah, it is a crazy, but it's a good kind of crazy, but I admire it, but I can never even fathom doing it. Like you're essentially naked, right? Like you have no shoes on, you're wearing gloves, big one, small one, but like that's pretty much it. You have no weapons.
I mean, two fighters is essentially two warriors bearing their souls to the world.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And so like you're able to do that, but then a party scares the crap out of you.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing.
There's things, people will invite me out to events or dinners, and I do want to go, but I just think about that feeling and, I'm going to get it, and I'm just going to stay home tonight.
Do you feel like it stopped you from going down certain paths in your life, like from achieving certain goals, or have you been able to overcome it every step of the way? I mean, certainly you're successful as far as fighting is concerned, and you could have been successful in soccer as well, right? You had to make that choice, but do you feel like it has stopped you throughout your life?
No, I'm sitting here talking to you.
You're doing well.
So I'm doing something right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I really urge everyone to check it out, and I hope you do it more. I really do.
I will. I definitely.
Yeah.
It was the same kind of release and expression and outlet that I feel from fighting, just without all the physical pain and all the sweat. It's just a different kind of release, but it felt like it was on the same scale.
Sure.
Like after a fight, you just feel okay, doing that. The first time I performed it and got it out and actually, watched it, I was like, oh, that felt really good.
Yeah. I can imagine. And what about you also just perusing your social media, you, I'm not going to say his name, but you took the liberty to call out a troll who was just harassing you, right? How bad is this for you? How often are you harassed online?
At least every day.
Really?
Yeah, at least once a day by
it's
somebody.
Relentless?
It's not relentless. Sometimes it's pretty quiet or it's pretty mild.
Yeah.
But then there's sometimes where somebody just has the nerve to post something so vulgar or so inappropriate or so rude. I cannot stay quiet.
Okay.
I have to respond because it's like, I think a lot of times they don't expect a response. Like, I'm not going to see it. And I think it's kind of important in a sense to be like, hey, just because you're sitting behind a computer screen or your phone and there's no consequence for what you just said, it doesn't mean it doesn't have an effect, and you need to know that that's not okay. Like one of the main issues in today's world is cyberbullying, and then that just goes along with the anxiety and the depression, and especially with kids. And there's in this generation, the social media generation, like it's terrible. People can just say whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, with no consequences, and they don't think about how it affects the person that they're saying it to. Like, even after a fighter loses a fight, like I said, they just went out and bared their soul to the world. Do you think they wanted to lose? Do you think they wanted to have a bad performance? Do you think you telling them they suck or how badly they did is going to help in any way or contribute to how they're feeling? Like, no. I mean, people just need to, I think if the roles were reversed, if everybody could at least, fight once.
Yeah, good luck
just
with that.
Once.
Yeah.
Go through a training camp, the mental, the physical, the emotional roller coaster that is a training camp, and then put yourself in front of that many people and do the thing in front of that many people. I think a lot of those trolls would shut up.
It's amazing. You could get 100 positive comments and then one really bad one, and that's the one you'll harp on. At least I'm that way, right?
Yeah.
And like you kind of, great, thank you, compliment, and then you get one really nasty one, and it ruins your day because it comes right to your face, right? It's not like someone writing on some forum and you have to go in there and search for it. Like this is your phone, this is your personal phone, and you're reading it, and it feels very personal.
Yeah.
And so I wonder.
I think that might have something to do with it too. The fact that it's something that it's yours and you're holding it in your hand,
right?
And you're reading something that somebody wrote, like they meant for you to see it. It's like it's personal.
So what do? You just block?
No, I let them.
Really?
I just let them.
Why? Why let them have?
What am I gonna do?
Block them.
You
don't have to see this.
But I don't want to. I don't want to give them
the satisfaction.
Yeah. So if they want to keep talking shit and keep being a kind of crummy person, I'll acknowledge it and be like, that sucks.
Right.
But I'm gonna leave this here for everybody else to see.
Really? Okay.
Like let everyone else see how terrible you are for saying that. But every once in a while, when I'm feeling some kind of way, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just something so bad I can't ignore it, I'll respond. And usually they're really quick to backpedal. Especially the guys who are like videos of me hitting mitts, oh, nice booty, whatever, something about that. And I'm like, I'll respond would you say that to my face if you saw me in the gym? No. So why would you say that to me here? Do
you feel like female fighters get it more than male fighters?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why do you think that is? Because so many males watch this and they feel like, okay, we're better than you because we'll tell you how it is or we'll treat you a certain way?
I don't know if it's necessarily that.
Okay.
But I think it's just, males and females cohabitating, when it comes down to the most biological aspects of it, it's like a male sees an attractive female, it's gonna generate some type of, response. But to actually act on it and say something inappropriate like that is another thing than just being in your head you can be like, oh, she's got a nice ass while she's hitting mitts. That's cool. But instead to put it out there, tweet it. Like, it's just so, like, if you wouldn't say that to my face or to that girl's face, because you know she would clock you.
Right.
Don't write it.
Do you ever get it at the gym? Do you ever have guys come up to you? Maybe not now because you're world renowned, but early on where you felt like they were disrespecting you and talking to you a certain way?
Yeah, definitely.
How did you overcome that? Just keep showing up. Oh, you whoop their ass?
Yeah.
Legit?
Yeah.
What do you do? Someone comes up to you and says something, you just punch them?
No, I wait till it's time to spar or time to drill or whatever. And
you whoop their ass?
Yeah.
Do you tell them why?
I'll make a smart remark after usually.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Does this still happen?
No.
No one does that anymore.
No.
When's the last time it happened where you had to like prove or teach someone a lesson?
Not within the last year, I would say.
All right.
I mean, sometimes you get those guys that come in and they know who I am and they know my skill level, so they want to test it. And so I'm like, okay, you want to test me? Let's go to school then.
Wow.
Yeah.
They want to spar you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you school them?
Yeah.
How big are these people? Like, what's the biggest you'll spar against?
Now I'm very careful with who I spar with because with the level that I'm at, injury is something I have to take into consideration. So I don't spar with anybody that's over maybe like 150, 155 pounds.
155?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like not fight at 155.
Sure. Okay.
About.
Okay.
So like, I think a 145er would be like maybe the absolute heaviest that I would spar with.
In a perfect world, would you just stick in kickboxing, or do you genuinely enjoy MMA as well?
I do both. Okay. I want to be able to. I'm a hybrid. Yep. Like when I competed in Muay Thai, in full rules Muay Thai, my style wasn't traditional Muay Thai. With kickboxing, I don't look like a typical kickboxer, maybe more so than Muay Thai fighter, but there's aspects of my athleticism and my game that do transfer well into MMA. I'm really liking jiu-jitsu now, and wrestling is something that I felt came to me more naturally than the actual strict jiu-jitsu. And being athletic and having a hybrid style in whatever sport I've competed in, I want to be a true hybrid athlete and be able to do Muay Thai, do kickboxing, do MMA. When I'm finished, when I'm retired from competing in combat sports, I want to just continue doing jiu-jitsu and do jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Wow.
I want to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu one day.
When do you think that time will come? How much longer do you want to go? Do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. I think my magic number is 33.
33?
33.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we've got 10 years left.
Good answer.
Yes. And what about, so you had this path, right? You could have gone soccer or Muay Thai kickboxing, right? And you chose that because you couldn't do both. Do you ever think about what your life would be like if you chose soccer? Do you ever dream about that? That sort of sliding doors? What would I be doing now? How successful would I be? Things like that?
Yeah, not too often because at that point, when I was playing soccer, like the only real place for me to play would have been to go to Europe.
Yeah.
And even there, women's soccer doesn't really carry much weight so I would have just ended up coming back here and, working a normal job.
Right. I feel like you made the right choice.
I definitely made the right choice.
You don't have regrets?
No.
What's the sponsorship game like for someone like you of your stature, champion, televised kickboxing, things like that?
It's getting better.
It's getting better?
It's getting better.
Okay.
But there's still a lot of work to be done.
Okay.
And there's still a lot of growth that can happen there. But I'm definitely starting to feel the love.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to give any of them a shout out?
Yeah, of course, on it.
On it. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were invited out there to be a part of this 40-person...
Yeah, the Influencer Summit. It was an absolutely incredible experience. It was very inspiring. It was, you walk into the room and you look around and I'm like, Lance Armstrong sitting next to me.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah.
You talked to any of them personally?
Yeah, before my anxiety kicked in.
That's right.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Tiffany, I'm a fighter.
That's right.
That's about it. But yeah, just the energy in the room. Like when you could just tell that there's a lot of special people here and they think differently and they all live differently in ways that are influential to others. And so to have that many people of, that same kind of vibe and tribe together was a really cool experience.
Any other fighters there?
Michelle Watterson was there.
Okay.
She's an absolute sweetheart.
Yep. Fighting this weekend as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You watch UFC?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite fighter?
My favorite fighter? I don't think I have a favorite fighter right now.
Not one that you say like, oh, I need to watch because she or he is fighting?
Usually when my friends fight, for sure. I've always been a big Jose Aldo fan from his early days because of his striking. Yeah, so...
I feel like there's something about like soccer players turned fighters. The kicks are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like it helps you? The skills that you learn in soccer or vice versa?
It's not the kicks.
It's not the kicks.
No,
what is it?
It's the footwork.
It's the footwork.
Yeah.
See? You're right. And he's fighting as well this weekend.
Yep.
And he used to be a soccer player too.
Yep.
In case you didn't know. All right. So it goes down this Friday. Glory 48, Super Fight Series, Super Bantamweight Championship on the line. Tiffany van Soest against Anissa Meksen. You're 4-0 in Glory. Anissa is 2-0. 93-3 record. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
She's been around the block.
Yeah.
And so that's on UFC Fight Pass. You can also get the tickets at the MSG Theater, MSG.com. And it kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fight Pass. But also 10 p.m. Glory 48 New York. What do you think? You want that?
Yeah, I'm taking it.
That's like 1 of 20. So what am I going to do about it? Yeah, all right. I'm not going to fight you. So ESPN 3, that's the Glory 48 card.
Where's the Time Bomb bobblehead, though?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Do you have one?
How do I get one?
Yeah. Glory.
If I get one, will you put
at?
it on the desk?
I would love nothing more.
Where's the Time Bomb bobblehead?
I would love nothing more. Yeah. That would be amazing. I feel like that would sell pretty well.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, they need to get behind you more. I mean, like, you should be main eventing The Real Show on ESPN.
And I need bobbleheads.
Yes, and you need bobbleheads. All right, we're going to work on that. I'm going to talk to the Glory people.
Cool.
And then once it comes out, you'll be right next to Hoist, right over here. It's a deal.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much, Tiffany. You made me nervous there, talking about anxiety. Really, thank you for coming out and talking about all of that. And it made me relate to you even more so than I would have expected. So kudos, and keep doing it. Not just the fighting stuff, but the speaking up stuff, spoken word. It's great. I really appreciate you stopping by, and best of luck on Friday.
Thank you very much.
All right, there she is, Tiffany van Soest. My man Joe over here is going to walk you out. So I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Okay. Thank you very much, Tiffany. There she goes, the Glory Super Bantamweight Champion.